Yeah. Okay, so chapter 13 onwards is the start of the Jnana Yoga. You guys have survived Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Wow, you have survived, 12 chapters done. Now we move on to Jnana Yoga, where the Lord is giving you a little bit more Jnana. Okay, next week there's no class, remember, right? The good news is, the following week when you come, you don't have to come at 9 o'clock anymore. Because we should be able to finish the whole program. The sad news is we will be giving some certificates to all of you at the end of it, that this person has is now certified is now a certified student of the Bhagavad Gita or whatever. Okay, yeah. Yes, I will need your full name, okay, so that it appears nicely on your certificate. Might be helpful in your employment. Hey, nowadays they are looking for spiritual intelligence, not just emotional intelligence or whatever. Okay, might be useful. Okay, so we'll have our temple president coming and giving the certificates to all of you. Yes. Oh yes, next week we are going to Malaysia for the tour. It's promised to be really good. Okay? We'll be taking the transport on Thursday night, going all the way up to Penang. Lots of fun. We reach Penang in the morning. We'll check into a nice 5-star hotel. And then we will go to the Hare Krishna temple, newly opened Hare Krishna temple, beautiful, for a lunch and arati. After that, we will go to the 2 Buddhist shrines, okay? The Burmese and the Thai Buddhist temple. And then we will go to Lord Murugan's temple up the hill, okay? Where the Thaipusam starts in Penang. And then lots of time for shopping. The next day, we will take a bus to Ipoh, okay? And they will be reconsecrating the temple with new deities, etc. And then we will go to the cave temples at about 2 p.m. There are beautiful caves, natural formation, and inside the caves, there are beautiful temples. And then we will drive up to Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur, we will rest, a little bit of shopping in the evening. Early in the morning, we will go up to Batu Caves. For those of you who have not been to Batu Caves, a beautiful shrine up the mountain, up the hill, in a cave. Okay? Very nice. And then we will go to our Lakshmi Narayan temple, the counterpart of this temple. Okay? I will be giving a short lecture there, unfortunately, on the teachings of Queen Kunti. Okay? Those of you who have not heard of Queen Kunti, who is she, etc., I'll be just doing about 5 of the 24 verses. And then we will come back. So it's really nice. For those of you who are, relaxed, can afford a day's vacation for Friday, please come over. We are only left with 4 more seats. Please support. Uncle is coming. She's coming. We have a few folks at the back. So 4 more seats. Anyone interested? Yeah, at least show that I'm a good marketeer. Lalita ji, alright, see. Okay. You? Difficult, huh? Okay. Anybody else? Yes. Oh, Mr. Shenoy. Nice. Okay. 2 seats done. 2 more, auction, 2 more. Harina, back home. Harina, can you please stand? So Harina is from Penang. Okay, she's a professional in the media industry over here. So she can, and she's, she has been fully engaged in the construction of the Penang temple. Okay, can you tell them a little bit about how beautiful it looks? They should see it. It's very nice. Okay, there's lots of devotion in the temple. That's why it's called the Temple of Devotion and Understanding. Very nice. Please come. Nice prasad will be served. Okay, and for your information, you know who is the president of the Penang temple? It's a Chinese. It's a Chinese guy. He works for the government. He's given his heart, life and soul to the temple. So he started the construction of the temple. He bought the land from the government at a reduced price. He's got 4 sons. They are all totally devoted. One is open up a small pizza outlet to bring funds for the temple. The wife is a teacher. Now she has taken voluntary retirement service to devote to dressing up the deities, etc. So it's an eye-opener. I think Radhika, you have met them before, right? Yeah. Radhika was surprised to see that the temple president is also the chief priest and Chinese guy. Chinese. Why Chinese? It doesn't matter, right? We are all spirit soul. You saw Maharaj, Scottish body. Does it make a difference? Okay, chapter 13 is very fast, very short. Alright, so we are now going into the Jnana section. And the funny thing is, a lot of what Krishna is going to be speaking in chapter 13 will be inconceivable. You cannot understand. I've read it many times, I still cannot understand. But doesn't matter, it purifies you. It purifies you. It's tough. Hello, Auntie. Hare Krishna. Okay, it's tough. But remember, there's this story which has been going around on WhatsApp messages. There's this sage who gave a basket, a dirty basket, to one of his students. Please go and get it. Fill it up with water. So the student ran to the stream, filled it up with water, but he realized it was full of holes. By the time he came back to the sage, the water had all gone. He went the second time, the third time, the 10th time, and he came back. He said, why have you given me this piece of work to do? The basket is full of holes. Then the sage told him, didn't you realize it was such a dirty basket initially? Because you were doing it again and again and again and again, it became clean. You didn't realize what you were doing, but the basket became clean. Similarly, just by reading again and again and again, it will purify you. Don't worry if you don't understand. I've read many times, I still don't understand, but still I'm teaching you. That's the irony, right? Of the Lord's inconceivable potency. Okay? So I'll go through about 8 of those verses in detail. So Jnana Yoga section. So obviously the Lord speaks about knowledge. So what are the items of knowledge? Krishna is explaining humility. Humility, being humble. Okay? Pridelessness. Can each of you just say one by one? Ma'am? Humility, pridelessness.
Simplicity.
Louder, Bina, Lalita. No, the Pakode would have given you some energy.
Cleanliness. Self-control.
Sir, this one.
Renunciation of objects of sense gratification.
Very good. Absence of false ego, good. The perception of evil and birth, good. Yourself? Death?
Old age and disease.
Attachment.
Wife also, no? Entanglement with wife, children, home and rest. Freedom from that, freedom. Okay, even-mindedness amidst pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from general masses of people, accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for absolute truth. All of this I declare to be knowledge. The Lord is so clear. This is all knowledge. Everything else is ignorance. Okay? Anything not explained over here is ignorance. He has nicely, put it in a nice basket for us. So the real aim is for a living entity to give up all selfish satisfaction and be prepared to satisfy the Supreme. That is our aim. The moment we keep on satisfying our own senses, we are moving away from the Lord. If we dovetail all our activities to the Lord, we will get closer to Him. Okay? So that's the first. Then we move on. All. Pardon me? Not necessarily. You aspire. Yeah. But you see, this is the Jnana section of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says the most important section is Bhakti Yoga. There will be certain classes of people who are like Karma Yoga. There will be certain classes of people who are like Jnana Yoga, etc. But our aspiration is to become yogis in the Bhakti sense. So although the super soul appears to be divided amongst all beings, he is never divided. Okay? So although Paramatma is in everybody's heart, does it mean the Lord had divided himself into smaller parts? No. Okay, he's just expanded. Okay. Although he is the maintainer of every living entity, he is understood to be that he destroys and develops all. We have learned about Lord Vishnu. Okay, every breath he creates, and then every inhale he destroys. Material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. Okay, the Lord says, right, in chapter 2, there was never a time when you and I did not exist. Where's the noise coming from? Washroom. Okay, never mind. Okay, so their transformations and the modes of matter are products of material nature. So the Lord says that there was never a time when all of this didn't exist. If you ask a scientist, what will they tell you? Oh, actually everything came because of the Big Bang Theory. What does the Big Bang Theory say? Okay, everything came to a concentrated spot and then it bursts. But why do we refute? Everything came to a concentrated spot. Where did the things come from? Point number one. Where did the things come from? Okay, they come together and then there's an explosion. How did the explosion come about? And finally, everything broke apart and went into proper arrangements. How can that happen? Okay, so that's why as devotees of the Lord, we refute the Big Bang Theory. And finally, Krishna says, "Oh son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all the universe, so does the living entity living within one's body illuminate the entire body by consciousness." So Krishna is saying, just like the sun brightens up the whole world, our soul gives us the consciousness, or gives consciousness to the whole body. Okay? Soul, how big is the soul? 1/10,000th of the tip of the hair. That's the size of the soul, and it's able to illuminate the entire body with consciousness. That's what Krishna says. Okay, chapter 13, that's it. Finish. No, we just read a little bit more. Can you take out the Bhagavad Gita? 13.23. Brian, can you read 13.23 for me, please? Thank you. Loud and clear. Brian is our youngest student over here. Secondary 2. 13.23. I didn't memorize, sorry.
Yet in this body.
Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul.
Very good. Okay, so now Krishna in chapter 13 is telling a little bit more about the super soul. Next to our soul, there is the super soul. The super soul is the other bird watching this bird eating and doing whatever activities. So the super soul is always with us. Super soul is also called Paramatma. Okay? Good. 13.24, Malti.
understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity and the interaction of the modes of nature, is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position.
So Krishna is very kind. He says, if you understand the soul, if you understand Paramatma, you will come to me. Okay? Next, Raj, 13.25. No, just the verse only.
Okay, the verse. The Sanskrit.
No, just the English.
Some perceive the super soul within themselves through meditation, others through the cultivation of knowledge, and still others through working without primitive desires.
Okay, so Krishna explains there are three ways to understand the soul. One is by cultivation of knowledge, reading about it. The other one is by meditation. And finally, the third one is by louder.
Devotion.
Working without fruitive activities. Good. So you see, whatever we have learned, now you are seeing it's all coming together. 13.26. Yourself, man. One of our top students.
Again, there are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others. Because of their tendency to hear from authorities, they also transcend the path of birth and death.
Wonderful. Queen Kunti calls this Shravanam, hearing. The hearing process is so good. Remember I draw the ear the last time? What does it do? The Lord will reciprocate from our heart. Once you start hearing, the Lord also reciprocates, opens it up further for you to understand better. The hearing process is so important. Okay, if you do a search on the net, there will be a lot of bona fide sites in which you can hear a lot about Lord Krishna, about Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, etc. If you are interested to learn more, drop me a message and I'll give you the right links. Okay. Next. Oh, you don't have that? Okay, good. Sir, Raghavan.
Oh, chief of the Bhattras, know that whatever you see in existence, both the moving and the non-moving, is only a combination of the field of activities and the knower of the field.
Okay, good. So everything actually emanates from the Lord. Next one, 32. Is it 29 or 32? Oh no, 29 you should read. 28 is a bit complex, so I told you to skip that. Make it easier for you all, no? Field of activity and all is very complex. Only our good friend here can understand. Come on. 28. Oh, what have you all done? Oh, you did 27. Okay, 27 you skip. Now 28 please.
This is the super soul accompanying the individual soul in all the bodies. And who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul within the destructible body is ever destroyed actually ceases.
Very good. So the soul and the super soul can never be destroyed. Good. Easy. We have learnt all of this. 29. Sir.
One who sees the super soul equally present everywhere in every living being does not degrade himself by his mind. Thus he approaches the transcendental destiny.
Wonderful. Okay, so the super soul is there everywhere, you know. Even in the animals, the super soul is also there, guiding them. How is it that, you know, when a kangaroo is born, it knows how to crawl and go into that pocket? The super soul is guiding, right? How does it know how it should be drinking milk? Isn't it? Okay, so it's there. 32, last one. Yes, sir.
Those with the vision of the identity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal and the beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled.
Very good. So now chapter 14 we will be going into the three modes of material nature. the kind of lifestyle we should be having. But Krishna says clearly the soul is actually not affected. Okay? It is our gross and subtle body which is actually affected, not the spiritual body. Okay? Good? This is something this morning I got over a WhatsApp group. Very nice, I like it. When a living entity desires to serve the Lord in transcendental learning service, the Lord helps the devotee in so many ways as the Chaitya Guru. Okay? The Chaitya Guru. From the heart, the Lord actually shows the direction, or the spiritual master within. And thus the devotee can perform many wonderful activities beyond material estimation. By the mercy of the Lord, even a layman can compose prayers of the highest spiritual perfection. Even such spiritual perfection is not limited by material qualifications, but is developed by the dint of one's sincere endeavor to render transcendental service. Okay? It says a lot, isn't it? Yeah? It's not about our material qualification. Voluntary endeavor is the only qualification for spiritual perfection. Material acquisition of wealth or education are not considered. Okay? If you go to, you just type in Google 3.9.38 Bhagavatam purport, you will get this. Okay? Okay, so we move on to chapter 14. Chapter 14 speaks about the modes of material nature. Very interesting. This is the favorite part of the Bhagavad Gita for me. 100 verses the Lord spoke about modes of material nature. 100. Okay? A lot of philosophy has been shared. Now Krishna will explain what type of lifestyle we should live. It's a solid model. Remember one thing. If you try to practice spiritual life, okay, you wake up in the morning, you chant your rounds, etc. You read. But if you do not have the right lifestyle, your success will be limited. Lifestyle means what? The type of people you associate with, the place you live, the kind of food you eat. Okay, so you can start your spiritual life, but if all of this lifestyle, the environment you live in, the sangat you are in, if it's not correct, you cannot succeed. You can try and try and try. It's going to be difficult. Let's take a moment and pause and think about this. This morning when you woke up, Brian, how did you feel in the morning when you woke up? Tired. Good. Dr. Rupaki? Very good. She was totally devoted. She said, no, I have to get ready fast and come for the class. Vishnu? Quite happy. Good. Okay. Brian, what did you say? What did you say? No. You felt tired. Why did you feel tired? Watching TV, right? Could not sleep properly watching TV. So you see, these activities are affecting your consciousness in the morning. Okay? Very interesting. This is very interesting. If you ask me which is the easiest applicable part, chapter 14, chapter 17 and chapter 18. Okay. And then later on Krishna will explain that, okay, the three modes are the mode of goodness, the mode of ignorance and the mode of passion. But I want you to go beyond these three modes. Okay? Go beyond these three modes to Shuddh Sattva. Okay? Higher than that. Okay. So chapter 14, track. The three modes: race for performance, actions in mode, and finally, what is pure life all about? Okay. So I just want you to have a look at this picture over here. What do you see? You see, Lord Krishna, He has invested part of His energy into the three modes. Okay? Modes of goodness, modes of passion, and modes of ignorance.
No.
Gunas, the three gunas. He has invested part of His energy over here. Now just have a look. Imagine the sun. Okay? Imagine the sun. Because of the energy of the sun, what do you have? You have evaporation. Because of evaporation, what do you have? You have the clouds. So what are the clouds doing? The clouds are blocking the sun rays from all of us. Isn't it? So similarly, the Lord has invested His energy into the three gunas, and the three gunas are like a cloud blocking us from seeing the Lord. It's a wonderful analogy, I feel. The sun's energy produces the clouds, but the clouds are blocking us from seeing the sun. Similarly, Lord Krishna's energy produces the three gunas, and the gunas are like a cloud blocking us from reaching the Lord. You get this point? If you get this point, we can progress easily. How many of you don't understand? So I'll explain one more time. How many can understand? Everybody is so shy. Okay, one last time. The sun. Just forget about Krishna for the time being. For the time being. The sun, because of the heat of the sun, what do you have? Rivers, sea, ocean. Because of that, the heat, the water is evaporating. The water evaporates, you learn in science, it gets up to the sky at a cool temperature, it forms droplets of water. Wow, my primary 3 science is coming together. It forms droplets of water. The droplets of water come together to form clouds. So the sun produced the clouds, isn't it? Because of the heat. At the same time, the clouds, what have they done? They have blocked us from seeing the sun. Correct? So similarly, the Lord's energy is invested in the three gunas. But the gunas are like a cloud. They are stopping us from reaching the Lord. Maya maybe, that's right. Okay? So these are actually the energies of Durga Devi. Okay? I think everybody understands now. Huh? Okay. So although Maya cannot cover the Lord, but what is it doing? Maya is actually covering us. Maya is covering us. Okay? And therefore, we become a conditioned being forever. We become conditioned being forever. But if we practice the right lifestyle, there is a high probability that we will not be trapped. Remember, the right lifestyle can get us out of this entanglement, that's right. So we will get out of this entanglement, but you can only be entangled. Oh my God, sorry about the aircon up there. Shall I switch it off? So you have the remote, can you please switch it off? Poor guys will freeze, man. Would you all like to come a little in front? No? What is there? Yeah. So I lost my chain of thought. Yeah. So guna means rope. Okay? For you to come out of these ropes of entanglement, you can only be saved by someone who is not entangled. Who is that someone? The Lord Himself or your spiritual master. Okay, there are only 2 people who can save us. Good? So we'll move on. So the 3 gunas. What are the 3 gunas? Remember? Rajas, Tamas and Sattva. Rajas, Tamas, Sattva. Okay? So as soon as we come into this material world, they already captured us. The moment the baby is born, she's crying, why? Already captured. It's already captured by the three modes. Okay? And the modes will be pervading and affecting us both outside and inside. Remember, the modes are affecting us outside and inside. So the question is, how should I interact with the modes so that I will be affected positively? Earlier on in chapter 13, we learned that the soul is not affected. Okay? Soul is not affected. It is our subtle consciousness and our body which is actually affected. Okay? So, what I'm trying to emphasize in this chapter is the lifestyle. A certain lifestyle will form what? Habits. Okay? Lifestyle will form habits. Habits will form character. And character will form
nature.
your lifestyle, your nature. Okay? And your future, your destiny. Okay, so it is lifestyle, develop habits. Habits will determine your character, and the character will determine the future. So habits will always stay with us, right? Okay. You remove the H, it is still a bit. You remove the A, it's still bit. Habits will always remain with us. So now Krishna will explain what are the right habits. Okay? The Lord explains that you become God consciousness and return to the spiritual world. That's our goal. How do you do it? By the 9 processes and A, B, C, D. A for association, B for reading the books, C for chanting, and D your diet. At the same time, it's important to exercise the appropriate lifestyle and character to be most successful. A is association, B is books, C is chanting, and D is diet. Okay, so our habits form our character. Habits in ignorance or tamas, what do? They confuse us, they hinder our consciousness, and they get you into a lazy mood. Brian is laughing at me. You're a young man, the very fact that you are here tells us a lot about you, man. Well done, a clap for you. You know why? You know why you're here? It's about A. It's because of A. You are associating with your grandfather. That's why you're getting the good deeds. Okay? Habits in passion or rajas, it will provoke desires. Desires. I want to be competitive. I want the BMW 5 Series. I want a big bungalow. I want this. That is rajas. Habits in goodness, it will purify your consciousness. And habits in pure goodness, it will liberate us. So Krishna is saying, this is for the ordinary. For my devotee, please focus on this one, habits in pure goodness. Our activities are a result of the decisions we make, and our decisions are ultimately based on the modes we are influenced by. It's a vicious cycle. Okay, read again. Our activities are a result of the decisions we make, and our decisions are ultimately based on the modes we are influenced by. Okay? So the 3 modes are like fighting against each other to see who will dominate on our lives. So everything can be seen from the 3 modes. Everything. Let's take environment. Environment, okay? If you look at environment in the modes of ignorance, what kind of environment will it be? Environment in the modes of ignorance, confused, hinder consciousness, lazy mode. What kind of environment is it? Okay? It It will be like, real world examples. Partying. Who said that? Alright. You don't look like a partying type. Okay. Bars. Okay. Bars. Discotheques. Dark places. Slaughterhouses. Cinemas. Dirty and messy places. It will all make you feel dull. It dulls your consciousness. Okay? Ken? You don't agree? You agree, yeah? Good. Okay, so that's the kind of... And yes, sir. I'm coming to your cinemas. Yeah. Dark, no? Dark. Never know what's happening, right? In the last rows. Passion. Environment which is full of passion. Stock exchange. What else?
Performing music.
Huh? Loud music. Trading, dingy alleys. They are all full of passion. Goodness. I'm coming to that. No, temple is a little higher than that. Goodness. The park. Okay, park, mountain, quiet place, places where you can think attentively. Pure goodness. Temple. Waking up at Brahma Muhurta time, chanting your rounds in full devotion. That is all environment of goodness. Temple, it's correct until 1 o'clock when they serve food. Then it becomes. Okay? Okay, so you understand? The model can be applied to everything. And what is going to happen? If you go to those places, they will affect you. I tell you, it affects you. Okay, I am a vegetarian. I don't even take onion and garlic. But sometimes when I travel, I've got no choice. Sometimes, because I have to eat in a restaurant which is also cooking meat. Sometimes, if I go to Korea and all that, I just have to suffer. I come back home, everything goes. It's tough. You're sitting in an aeroplane, okay? 3 people are sitting next to you in economy class. You can be eating your nice vegetarian fruits, etc. Whatever the next door neighbor is eating, it affects you subtly. It affects you. I'm telling you from my own experience. So always try to see. And if you go to a bar and all that, the kind of association you have, it affects you. Once it has affected you, what is going to happen? You will act in that mode. Okay? So the outside affects the inside, and the inside then affects the outside. Okay? Yes? It affects your consciousness, man. Yeah. Because onions are in the mode of passion. You become very lusty. Garlic is in the mode of ignorance. You see? So you cannot offer this to Krishna. And if you don't offer it to Krishna, you don't eat it. If you go to any of the Vaishnava temples, they will never serve that. Okay, so there's race of prominence amongst the 3 modes. So there's race. Okay, so the influence of the modes can change anytime, In the morning, which is the prevalent mode in the morning? Yes, goodness. Okay? Until 8 o'clock is goodness. After that, what takes over? Passion. Very good. After that, the last 8 hours is ignorance. Oh, very knowledgeable, man. Okay? And remember, the internals will affect the externals, and the external will affect the internal. So now let's move to some real world examples. So goodness is the platform. Krishna says a life of goodness. Live a life of goodness. But if you live a life of goodness, what is going to happen? You will still have to come back. You have been doing charities and all. Good. You come back and enjoy. Krishna says, but it still implicates one to the laws of karma. Living in goodness is very good. It's good for your health, it's good for your achievements because it's giving you clarity of thinking. Not passionate, but just nice. It gives you knowledge and wisdom. You're happy and good character. But you use this as a springboard to elevate yourself to the spiritual platform. How do you do that? By Krishnalizing it. Whatever you do, Krishnalize it. Very simple. Health, you're talking about diet, you eat prasad. Achievement, whatever you do it as a offering to the Lord. Your talent, your money, etc. Use some parts of it for the Lord. Knowledge, read about the Lord. Try to see how you can use your knowledge in serving the Lord. Happiness, speak about spiritual, etc. So you can see over here, the three modes. We already have the food. Food of modes of goodness, ignorance, and passion. But let's look at the three modes in action over here. Sattva guna. Okay, your external environment and your internal environment will be as follows. You're harmonious, you're pure, right, balanced. I don't know what's the name, right? Light. Rajaguna. Okay, you're full of change, movement, action, creativity, energy. Tamaguna, laziness, inertia, darkness, neediness. Okay, so now, I think the next 4 pages will be the most apt slides for us in Kali Yuga. Okay? So the general nature and character of people who are in ignorance will be delusion. Passion, full of desire, wanting to win and do better and better and better. Goodness, positive actions. Pure goodness will be spiritual. The psychological type will be those who are ignorant, they are helpless. They are full of lamentation, always complaining. Ayya. They sleeps excessively. False hopes. Oh, never mind. No, tomorrow I will do this. Tomorrow I will earn $1 million. Tomorrow. Displays violence, can be very violent and can be a parasite on somebody else. Always leeching on somebody else. That's the psychological type of someone who is in the mode of ignorance. Interesting? Devi Singh? Okay, nah? Good. Someone who is passionate, full of action, works very hard to acquire prestige and fortune. He's become very anxious and he struggles and struggles and struggles. Someone who is in modes of goodness, very happy. He's endowed with dharma, knowledge. And pure goodness, he has got the spiritual happiness. He has crystallized everything. The results, someone in modes of ignorance, foolishness, madness, full of nonsense. Passion, misery and greed, never enough. Goodness brings happiness and knowledge. Okay, these are just 3 facets. I'm going on further. Destination after that. For someone who is full of ignorance, what is going to happen to him? He lived like an animal, right? Eat, sleep, mating, defending. He will become an animal next life. Simple. Okay? Passion. He's so full of energy. The Lord tells you, okay, never mind, you come back and continue on the earthly planets. Goodness, you will be born with the Devatas. Okay? Heavenly planets. Pure goodness, you will go to the spiritual world. Okay? So whatever modes are prevalent in us, that is the destination we will have. What about worship? Worship can also be classified into the 3 modes. People who are in ignorance, they worship the ghosts and the spirits. Even the forefathers, there are some people who worship them. Okay? Passion, they worship powerful humans, false gods. Goodness, they worship the Devatas, the celestial God, the impersonal God. And pure goodness, the Supreme Lord with no motivations. Okay? Very nice, right? It's all falling nicely logically. Harina, boleh? Food. Even food can be classified as ignorance and all. Ignorance, unclean, stale, putrid, decomposed. And you have caused violence to others. Others is animals. Okay, so something which is unclean, stale, etc., it gets you into the mode of ignorance. You are eating mode of ignorance food, you will display mode of ignorance. Passion. Modes of passion, too bitter, too sour, too salty, pungent, very rich, dry and hot. Causes pain, gastric pain, Sometimes nasi lemak with too much of chili. Okay, distress and disease, that's the kind of food. And modes which are in goodness, it increases your life, gives you strength, health, nourishing, sweet, juicy and palatable. And pure goodness will be Krishna Prasad. Austerity, the kinds of austerity which you can do. If it's in ignorance, is performed for self-torture. Sometimes people just torture themselves or harm others. Passion, performed to gain respect. Yes, I'm doing this austerity. I'm carrying this kavadi with nice gold around, etc. To show others, Okay? Goodness, perform as a duty according to the scripture with no expectation of reward. And pure goodness is something which pleases Krishna, helps people to gain ultimate goal of life. Any question? Straightforward, Charity, perform at an improper time or place without discrimination. Okay? Passion, perform to get something in return or in a grudging mood. I don't feel like giving, but I have to give, I just give. Okay? Goodness, perform as a duty at a proper time and place with no expectation of material returns. Pure goodness, it helps people to achieve ultimate goal of life. So charity, we have to be a bit careful about charity too. Yeah. Okay, so charity under ignorance will be, sometimes you are giving someone who is not worthy of it. Okay, you may give it to a beggar. You feel sorry for the beggar. You go to Australia in Melbourne, the whole streets, not whole streets, some parts of it is big, I realize. Spare change please, spare change please. Yeah, Maharaj, spare change, spare change. Spare change, they ask you for spare change. You give it to them. What is he going to do with your charity? He's going to drink. You are going to get some karma also, Okay, so that's mode of ignorance, not realizing who you are giving it to. I rather buy some food and give it to him, Passion, I'm giving the charity, but I want everybody to know this is, my name to be there. This lift is sponsored by this event is with compliments of so and so family. We see that. That's all charity in the mode of passion. I want some name. Naam kamana hai. Renunciation. Giving up duties because of illusion. Oh, I just want to run away. I hate family affairs and all that. That's illusion. Passion, giving up one's duty because of fear or difficulty. I'm giving up my job. I cannot take it. I cannot take the stress. But the Lord is saying, go and fight, no? Do your duty. So he is renunciating because of worry. Goodness, performing prescribed duties but giving up attachment to the results. Yes, that's what we want. And even better is renunciation for the Lord. I just like you to take a step back over here. Look at charity. Someone is drowning. If somebody is drowning in the stream, and I go in and I save him by saving his shirt, Stupidity, right? I'm shaving his shirt. I'm saving his shirt. That's stupidity. So everybody in this material world is going through so much of difficulty. If I just try to help his body, what good it is? Today it might be good for his body, but tomorrow, why don't we help his soul? Why don't we try to ignite his connection with the Lord? That is the best charity you can actually do. To revive your friend's consciousness that he is an eternal servant of the Lord. That is the best charity. Everything else is only skin deep. It is not soul deep. Okay? Determination. Someone in ignorance cannot go beyond dreaming. Always thinking, tomorrow I will do this. In passion is fixed and focused upon securing material pleasure. Goodness is unbreakable, sustained by knowledge. And for someone in pure goodness, he dovetails everything to the Lord. Even happiness, there are so many versions of happiness. You can read that. And even a bhakta, a devotee, he can also be in 4 classes. A devotee in modes of ignorance will be he will disregard others, unattentive, uninspired, doing things in a grudging, I have to wake up for Tulasi Arati, okay, I'll just do it, my wife is yelling at me, okay, I better do it now. Passion, perform for name, hey, I better do the Arati, everybody is watching me. Goodness, he realizes for my own purification. I am reading the Bhagavad Gita for my own purification. It's not to show anybody. I am chanting my rounds, etc. So application of this knowledge now. Remember, the outside will affect the inside will affect the outside. I've been to some of your houses, I see, wow, the whole house is painted white, modes of goodness. It will affect you. Go to some people's house, disco lights everywhere, different kinds of paintings everywhere, multicolored carpets, everything. Darkness, it affects you. Some houses, wow, it's Krishna everywhere. So external environment affects you. So how would you advise a student? How would you advise a student to maximize his yield? Think about it. Just discuss amongst the two of yourselves, and I'll have a drink while you discuss. Starbucks? That is a good point. What would you advise? Think about environment, think about time. Hey, even clothes, even clothes can be classified as the 3 modes, Ignorance means what? Here cut, there cut, everywhere cut. Okay? Tattered jeans, yeah. Zara in Bombay, all the standard clothes are most expensive. Okay? Passion? No, sorry. Ignorance will be dirty clothes. Passion will be all that it holds and all. It's a combination over there. Goodness will be regular, decent. Okay, so everything can be classified. So Dr. Rupami, what would you recommend to a student? You are one of my best students here today. What would you recommend to a student? If you want, I'm talking about 3 modes. Good answer, very good. So she's telling them, look at the modes and ask yourself, where do you want to be? And then you act according to that. So she's throwing the problem back to the student. It's okay. What else? Okay, so we spoke about waking up in the morning. Modes of goodness will be the first 8 hours of the day. Okay? Don't study towards the last parts of the day. It clouds the mentality. Why? Because it's My easiest thing when done, I know my kids also study at 2 o'clock in the morning because they've got so much of homework. Okay? Food, the kind of food which they should be eating, or they should be juicy, not too much of coffee and all that. Yeah, because it clouds your mind. Okay? Nice, fresh vegetarian food. It helps in your consciousness, in concentrating, etc. Okay? Those kind of, so use that model to answer everything. Everything can be answered. Where to study, when to study, and how to study. Where? Bright place, right? You study in a bright place. When to study, the timing. How to study? Clean place, okay. Starbucks, I don't know how they can concentrate. The boys will be looking at the girls looking at the boys. No, but they are really studying. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how. Different world. Okay, so sleep. Early to bed, early to rise makes one Krishna conscious, wise and healthy. Brahma Muhurat, don't waste that. Your diet, healthy, vegetarian, spiritual diet. Okay, see how the consciousness can change when you become a vegetarian. When we eat an animal, poor animal which has been killed, how much of terror it goes through, that goes to us. Environment, clean, fresh and light. Meditation, material and spiritual perspectives. Okay? So we go for a good life. So goodness is not enough. Use it as a springboard to Krishnalize and connect everything to the Lord by engaging in direct bhakti yoga. And the purport of the author of the purpose, right? Transcendentally situated persons have no envy and do not hanker for anything. They perform their duty in Krishna consciousness, indifferent to honor and dishonor. They have nothing to do with material existence. Social and political issues do not affect them. They do nothing for their own sake and everything for the Lord. It's very hard to achieve that, but we can try. Okay? One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at one transcends the three modes of nature and becomes at the level of Brahman. To rise above the three modes of nature, we have to transfer our consciousness from the influence of material nature to Krishna consciousness by Bhakti Yoga. Okay, if you have time today, there is a personality text called the Vedic personality text. Okay, just do a Google search. You don't have to worry about putting all of this. Just put Vedic personality test questionnaire. There will be about 50 questions over there. It will ask you how do you behave when you're provoked, blah 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 blah. Very comprehensive, and it can tell you which are the prevalent modes for you today. You do it a month later, okay? Then from there you can see what you should try to alter. See, we have made it very scientific for you. Okay? Chapter 15. Yoga of the Supreme Person. Look at this banyan tree over here. Banyan tree, lots of fruits, nice leaves, the roots are falling into the ground. And you have a pool of water, a puddle of water over here. What do you see? You see a beautiful reflection. What is Krishna telling you? This is my world, the real world. What you are seeing over here is just an illusion. It is just an illusion we are in. We think this is our permanent home. Just like Mr. Bean, he thinks this is his permanent home, right? He goes into a hotel. He thinks this is his permanent home. He fixes up his paintings. He paints the walls of his hotel room. He cannot find the bathroom. He drills a hole to go to the bathroom. Finally, he says, home sweet home. Mr. Bean, that's what we are thinking also. We are here only for what, 80, 90, at the most 100 years. But we are thinking this is our home. This is our home. We are here only on transit. Airport lounge, my spiritual master calls it. We are just at an airport lounge. We meet people, we leave. We meet people, we leave. You know, a lot of couples, they say, oh, I want to come back again. You know, 7 janam we will be with you.
One janam in
All these are all Hindi movie dialogues. Now, how they affect us? The three modes. Okay, so we are all spirit souls. How do you know how many germs you are going to be coming back? Oh. Okay, so remember, this is the banyan tree, the real banyan tree. The real spiritual world is represented up here, and the material world is down there, which is world of illusion. So Krishna is explaining this whole science in this chapter, number 15. What does Krishna says? The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of three modes. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see this. All of you all are trained in knowledge now. Right? Hey, chapter 14. You know, no? Three modes of material nature. On top of that, Shuddha Sattva. And then, can you remember? Can always refer. Krishna says, you know all of this? Wow. You can see all of this. You are trained now. I enter into each planet and by my energy, they stay in orbit. Remember chapter 7? Krishna says, I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. Actually, Krishna is saying over here, I am supplying the juice of life because of my moonlight. But nowadays we are, growing vegetables in-house, right? There's no moonlight. How does it happen? You know, is it maybe because if they are outside, they are more juicy? Right? Not I'm saying, Krishna is saying over there, okay? I am the fire of digestion. Remember, we spoke about this in lesson number 1. In the bodies of all living entities, and I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the 4 kinds of foodstuffs. What are the 4 kinds of foodstuff? Ignorance, passion, goodness, prasad. I am seated in everyone's heart. And from me comes remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. Wonderful, isn't it? Hare Krishna. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedanta and I am the knower of the Vedas. Remember, all remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness comes from him. That's also something which you tell your students, right? Remember the 3 modes we spoke about? How should a student behave, etc.? This is a very important verse for him. So remembrance of what? It's not just remembrance of what we have learned, what experiences we have gathered, etc. The remembrance is also of our constitutional position with the Lord. What is our constitutional position with the Lord? The Lord will give us that remembrance. Lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes, this is all being concealed. Okay? Knowledge, so that's the remembrance of who we are with the Lord. And He will also make you forget. If you are too much into Maya, you will forget. Chapter 15, and summary. There are 2 classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. The fallible ones will be those who live in the material planets, like us. And the infallible ones will be those who live in the spiritual planets. In the spiritual world, they will never be born again. In the material world, let it be the highest material platform, the material planets, to the lowest. We will keep on being born again and again and again until we reach the spiritual world. Okay, that's the chapter 15 summary. Besides these 2, there is the greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul. We spoke about it earlier on. The imperishable Lord Himself. And who has entered the 3 worlds and is maintaining them. Remember the 3 worlds we spoke from the Lord? Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavad. Very good. Because I am transcendental beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in this world and in the Vedas as the Supreme Person, Supreme Person. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. So in these 15 chapters, how many of you are fully convinced of what Krishna is saying, that He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? How many of us? So you are the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me. Okay, so we have finished chapter 15. I would now ask you to take a moment to reflect. In the past 15 chapters, what fascinated you the most and why? Any negative or positive change before or after the 5 lessons? What are the three key things you want to take away and want to imbibe in your life? And what is your wording of the Bhagavad Gita? I don't need the answer now. I was very bad. Okay, but please. Time's up. Got it.
Just in time.
I don't know. Not answer.
It's a 12:30, where aren't we? No, we will take another 12:30. Aarti is 12:30, we will go down at 12. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is, there's no test next week, but I would like you to reflect on this. Just come up with a single half page of A4 on what you think you have learned, and then we will share it. So since we started a bit earlier, and all respects to our sir over here, we will stop the class now. I would encourage all of you to go down for Aarti, and at 12:30 we come back for Pushpa. Thank you very much.